Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Age of Wonders 4, My Strange Current Addiction, where we have managed to capture the city of Thorn, and we are in the process of raising it. We're actually in the process of raising two cities. Now, one thing I'm a little bit worried about as we raise this city is our armies are a little bit hurt. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and stack all these bad boys up together and send them down into the underground. I think that's going to be what we do next. And what I'll do with my irregular spell is I'll try to summon a few irregular troops just to hold the city to make it so that they can't just take it immediately. But yeah, we'll use the summon irregular spell to reinforce the front line. We're also in the process of raising Harperton. This city will be gone soon, and then I don't know where we're going to send these troops next. We'll probably start marching them over to the east, or maybe we'll declare war on Carissa the Red. Although she is technically friendly with me, she may be willing to do an alliance with me as well. I could do a declaration of friendship. Unfortunately, I think we would need better relations to do an alliance. We could go to war with her. She is currently the second most powerful player on the map militarily, and I probably want to fight people one at a time until I'm strong enough to take on multiples. The Curse of Misfortune is actually a fantastic spell because it's a 2-hex radius spell that gives its enemies a 20% chance to critically fail an attack. Now, Create Forest is fantastic, so I will lock that in again, but we will go for the Curse of Misfortune because it's a super good spell. We have managed to build up Center Pike, our city over here, and we want to keep developing this city. In particular, we want to keep developing the gold income, so we're going to build a market, and the mana income, so we'll build a mana obelisk. We need to get this city up and running to sustain our army and also our spell casting. Now, the Root of Chaos has expanded its population, and I would like to make my way towards the Enchanted Den over here. I would like to get control of that, so I will be building a quarry. That'll bring us up to 3 quarries in the city, which should boost basically every building except for the Mages Guild. I am tempted to get the Mages Guild. However, I'm probably going to go for the Smiths Guild so that I can maximize the food and draft income in this city. Garrick the Sorcerer has leveled up. I will go ahead, and you are heavily based on support. You have all of these things. Forest Warden is a pretty good ability. We may as well take that because we might be fighting in some forests. We have found an insolent city-state down here to the south, which actually might be a good transition for this army here to run down there and blow this up, which will allow them to rejoin with my main forces, and then we can choose our next target. It'll probably be Smoggin over here, owned by Tugrum Hammerhall, or we'll be heading over to Sithadral. The underground invasion has begun. We've got a couple army stacks moving down into the underground. And let me tell you, I'm very interested in the sound of the underground. Let's go ahead and blow up some of these province improvements, mainly for the healing. Now, we want to make sure that we're within the reinforcement range when we do that. I want to be careful about getting caught out here. I will summon an extra irregular into this stack just to keep it nice and filled, and we'll begin casting Leaf Skin. Leaf Skin is a minor racial transformation that will give my people Forest Walk, which means they can move through forest for fewer movement, and they'll also have Forest Camouflage so they can't be spotted while they're in forest. Quite a helpful ability. I'm a little bit worried about this NPC army stack here taking the city of Thorn from me. No, it looks like they're just heading down for a battle. That's totally fine by me. And pillaging these province improvements has led me to gain a nice chunk of health, so we will continue to do that. Let's scatter my Sunderers into stacks of 2 units so we can pillage all this stuff. I'll also steal the Contender's Ruins, capture and release this, yoink. And now we'll get a triple pillage off with this army. That's the power of Sunderers, is they're very easy to spread out and split up and pillage things. Now, they're very vulnerable when they're in this configuration, but the potential for a Sunderer to generate a huge amount of positive cash flow to continue to sustain my Sunderer production is very high. We have obliterated this city over here, and so we shall rebuild a new one for extra cheap. And we have a huge amount of cash in reserve, like a ridiculous amount, 2,500 cash. I'm going to quickly send my hero over to clear the Slitherer's Den, actually. Let me retool this army next turn, I think. Do I want to bring Furies? I mean, if I compare a Fury, like this is a Recruit Fury. It does up to 36 physical damage and 15 poison damage from a single attack. Whereas, yeah, maybe the Furies are a little bit better. They got more health. I mean, the Javelin reducing Sundering defense is like super good. And my hero scales tier 1 units really well. Maybe I'll bring the Sunderers. Maybe I'll make sure that my hero stack is filled with Sunderers. I think that's the right thing to do, actually. My hero is set up to make those Sunderers just ridiculously powerful. Right, we are under attack. Looks like we've got 2 heroes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 furies on nightmare mounts. Actually, we've got 3 heroes, 2 rats and a cat. Wow, okay, so I'm pretty sure I could win this auto-resolve. Yeah, we won this auto-resolve. What did we lose? We lost a tier 1 unit, a tier 2 unit, and a tier 1 unit. This is acceptable levels of losses, in my opinion, considering we're going to pick up 250 gold and kill 3 enemy army stacks, and we can refill these by fighting and casting the some of the Horde's ability. So let's go ahead and cast Leaf Skin to transform my race. We now have the Forest Walk ability, and their skin will be green, so we're becoming one with nature, the druidic nature people, and then we can start summoning irregulars to refill these stacks. We're now carpet pillaging the entire enemy empire. We've got like little stacks just everywhere, slowly burning down their cities. I'm going to use my main hero. I'm going to put this city under siege. I think we'll do a headlong assault to bring that down to 6 turns. Then I'll add a sow confusion to bring that down to 5 turns. If I add one more siege project, which I could do in theory if I take the siege specialization skill here, and if I can get my siege time up to 20 fortification per turn, then I can do some serious damage. I guess I'll construct onagers. Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's get the city under siege properly, and I'll break off some Sunderers next turn to do a little bit of pillaging. But it'll be a 4-turn siege of his capital city. We should be able to pull that off relatively easily. The city of Slampit is going to build its forest of stakes now, I believe. So I'm going to plop down a forester, and then on top of that forester I just built, I'll build a forest of stakes, and that'll be adjacent to my mob camp. Now the city also has really bad city stability. It's in the unrest category. So I'm going to go ahead and build a tavern in here to try to bring that back up. And in fact, I might even prioritize the tavern over anything else. In my capital city, we finished a building, so I'd like to get to work on another thing. It would be nice to build the estate hall to keep the city's growth rate going. We only have 87 food per turn, and we need over 1,337 food to hit the next pop. So I'll get started on that estate hall. We do have the ability to add more buildings. I think I'd like to capture more of these resources. In particular, things like pastures are quite good to grab. Garrick the Sorcerer has leveled up again. Very heavily support oriented. Let's start moving into battle magic, I reckon. I'll start taking things like Magecraft to give the extra accuracy on the ranged magical attacks. That 10% accuracy really helps out. Brogdor the Charger, we have collected his remains. He only had a basic great axe, so we're going to keep him in the crypt. And we actually managed to capture Kin the Guardian, and he only had basic equipment as well, so we'll keep him in there as well. So we've got some city ruins up here, successfully pillaging it down. I think I would like to bring a hero up here to rebuild it. So I'll quickly grab Garrick the Sorcerer and pop her above ground. Oh no. The evil guy is here. Let me go ahead and cancel that until I get some reinforcements down there. That might not be a viable move. Right, in terms of arcane research, it would be nice to get poison blades, but it'd be very, very expensive to maintain. Aspect of the root would be fabulous as well. The fact that it gives 30 health points and allows your shield units to enter into defense mode. I'm going to go for create forest so I can start modifying the terrain and build cities of inescapable power. That'll make more sense once I actually start doing it. So the city of Tuskheim has been founded. And it's time for us to start annexing our first provinces. I think I'll focus on growth here in the early phases of the city. There's a couple of sheep tiles over here that I can get online. And then that'll lead us to getting things like the workshop up. So farm here, and we are good to go. I'm going to go easy on spending mana for a little while because I'm burning through my mana really quickly down to 500. I don't like being below 500. I could get Gore, Drake Rider, Specialist Engineer is quite useful. A Recruiter, that's nice draft income, fortified. I like the idea of the Sniper here. Quite a good ranged hero with the Eagle Bow. I will recruit you. Then I'm actually going to modify you because I don't like the skills that you have. I'm going to reset you. Signature skill will be maybe Virulent Outbreak. Yeah, I think Virulent Outbreak is a decent one. We will go with Poison Weapons, Fighting 1, Keen Edge for crit chance, Fighting 2 for even more damage. Then I'll take Martial Expertise. Now, that's 5 Warfares. The only thing we're missing now is Killing Momentum, so we would like Killing Momentum. Oh, do you know what? I messed up taking Fighting. I totally messed up this hero. I meant to take Archery. Ah well, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's bad, but I could just get this hero killed. I just noticed that I actually have unit upkeep for Imperium, which probably means my Spider leveled up because units of tier 4 and higher do cost Imperium to maintain. I've neglected the population of Slampit. Can block draft, arrest the families, lose 2 population, and give it stability. I have no time for this. Listen, Slam Pit, we're in the process, okay? We're trying to fix you. You got to give us some time. I'll get that bathhouse next because the stability in here is just really, really rough. So we'll have to try and bring that up a little bit. Now, speaking of Slam Pit, it is actually ready to annex a new tile. And it's also ready to start cracking out more units. I'll just do another stack of Sunderers, because that is the unit that will carry me through this game, is the humble Sunderer. And honestly, it even feels like a misnomer to call it a humble unit, because the Sunderer has just done so much work for me this game. Right, I'm going to yoink this Ancient Wonder for myself, and I'll send my hero to go rebuild this city as well. Now, when I'm rebuilding this city, I will need another city cap. So I'll come down here and I'll start buying expanded governance. Eventually, I won't be able to settle on the cities that I've destroyed. I just won't have the city cap for it. But that's okay. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So we've basically eviscerated this entire territory. We've got 3,600 gold in the bank from pillaging, which I'm very happy about. Carissa the Red has built a Seed of Chaos, which is fine. I don't really care about that. I'm almost at the point of being unstoppable. I'm going to send this army around, I think, to clear out like the Fortress of Woe and stuff like that. These basic things. Honestly, how do I fire a hero? Can I just fire this hero? I regret hiring them. Do you know what? Let me just send you to your death. Go get yourself killed, because I built your skills incorrectly and now I feel a bit silly. So I'm just going to hire a different hero. Specialist engineer. I don't care about that. Recruiter is fine. I'll recruit a recruiter. I'll reset your skills and I'll make you something a little bit more interesting. So what did you have? A poison orb? Let's make you... See, I've got a chestplate of vitality. I've got heavy armor greaves. So if you wear the heavy armor greaves, you can't wear a mount. So I'm going to just sell those heavy armor greaves because I don't like equipping them. They're worth 28 money. You can sell your equipment. I don't think it's worth it. I'm really excited at the possibility of being able to create equipment someday playing this game. Do I want to do a claymore build? Maybe a mace of smiting, a sword and shield person? Let's do a two-handed sword build. No, let's do a support hero designed around supporting a berserker stack. So you're going to want the restore ability. I'm going to rename you, actually. I'm going to adjust your appearance. This will be Bear Shirt, Slamma the Berserker Herder. Slamma Berserker Herder. There we go. That's his name. So this guy's job will be to herd around a stack of berserkers. So in order to do that, we will be taking the experienced leader bonus to level up our berserkers faster. We will also be taking inspiring leader to lower the upkeep of those berserkers, defensive training to make the berserkers' health go further. We'll move you off to the side and we will begin the construction of the berserker stack. Now, this berserker stack probably wants at least one support unit with it. So I'm thinking a single war shaman should be enough. So maybe like a war shaman plus 4 berserkers. That seems like a reasonable stack to me. I just love the idea that I'm doing like the Age of Wonders 4 equivalent of a Zerg rush. I'm just rushing everyone down with the most basic crappy... Well, they're not even crappy. It's just that these units are just so good and so cost efficient. Especially when you have like the particular setup I have where they have extra health and they don't lose damage as they take damage. It just makes them so hard to deal with. But yes, my spider did actually evolve, and these guys have serious auto-resolve potential because of the frozen web. When these things crit, they do ridiculous damage for some reason. I think it's some sort of bug. Yeah, but these ice spider matriarchs are high quality, powerful units. Let's rearrange this stack. I don't want melee units in here. I want Sunderers. Sunderers are my most powerful unit by far. I'm going to send you now into the depths to defeat the Pantheon. Oh wait, no, we've already beaten the Pantheon Shrine. Where the hell was I? Oh, I was meant to send you down here to the Altar of the Ancients. Never mind, let's just fight this guy. So we're up against what looks like a mixed bag of animal and plants. This should be an easy auto-resolve. Yep, very easy. Basically lost nothing. We'll just step back inside this territory for a single turn while we heal up, and then we'll move on to take out Solemnia and this brigand camp. I really love the strategic simplicity of builds like this, where it's like, oh man, what do? I just make this same unit over and over again. It's why I loved mono battles when I would play StarCraft, which is the game mode where you just make one unit. It's why I loved playing Total War, peasant only challenges. So looking at the city of Centerpike, I think it would be nice if we could continue to grow this city and also get, stonemasons, taverns, all this stuff. We are missing our forest estates and that, but these cities are slowly getting built up to something useful. Tuscalm can annex another province. We'll be taking this farm again. So we've got our 3 farms already, which has given the city a ridiculous growth curve. Next, we'll get probably our 3 quarries to build up the city, and then probably our 3 lumber mills up to the north, something like that. So Whetstone will be assaulted next turn, and Shaggy is in the city, which means he is ready to be sent to the Astral Void, and his throne city will be taken, which means he will not be able to survive this. I think there should be a building you can build in your non-capital cities that like gives you the ability to, you know, get your leader back from the Astral Void. I think it's a little bit too easy to take out other players. Now, then again, it would be really annoying if it was much harder. Right, let's go in. We'll assault the city. Low risk battle. Should be an easy auto resolve. Might lose 2, maybe 3 units. Yeah, 2 units lost. That's fine. Those are completely replaceable losses. We're going to celebrate by getting Imperium. Right, so we're getting ready to raise Whetstone. We basically pillaged everything inside the city. We captured everything. We'll raise it and then rebuild the city here. And then we will have a look around to see where we're going to go next. We also have the city of Stagspear is nice and fresh. We're also going to be getting ready to kill Solemnia. Most of my army is full health. A couple of units are low health, but we do have the ability to deal with that. I will raise this improvement. See if we can bait these guys forward. That is a lot of stuff they have brought. Now, the nice thing is I think these guys are not very well upgraded. I mean, sure enough, they're elite rank, but they're not that strong. So we'll see if they decide to come and get me. So really only the hero stack needs to stay here to make sure that this goes through. We'll go ahead and just auto combat away this thing. We'll lose a couple of units. That's, again, totally replaceable losses. Now, the Punisher Halberd is one of the best melee weapons in the entire game, to the point where I'm considering building a hero stack around maximizing my use of it. My capital city has finished its production queue. I think I'll go for the Masonic Hall. It's time to get all the tier 3 buildings, I believe they are. They're right before you go for the tier 4s. Ooh, do you know what I need actually? The armory. I really need that extra draft income, especially because that'll lead to the Smith's Guild. And speaking of the Smith's Guild, I will need my 4th Forester so I can finally build the Forester Stakes here, which I'm going to immediately get underway because that's worth 7 draft, 7 production, and 21 draft. Sorry, 7 food, 7 production, and 21 draft with the Forester Stakes. It's a really damn efficient production improvement, so we'll just get it down there and we'll start getting the city underway. Right, Aisha Craig has leveled up. I do think Sentinel isn't a bad ability for her, but I don't think it's fully necessary. I think maximizing her defense might be the right way to go. She's currently up to 7 defense, which is a roughly 50% reduction in all incoming damage, physical damage at least, which basically doubles her health pool. So any healing she takes is twice as valuable. You know, any regeneration she does is twice as valuable. It means she'll be alive twice as long. It means she gets to take twice as many actions if her number of actions are dictated by how long she stays alive. So yeah, I just find survivability is a very, very powerful ability, especially if you already have damage. Now, let's go ahead and take on these electric frogs. I don't think we're going to lose too much here in this battle. Okay, that's actually a lot more losses than I would find acceptable in an average auto-resolve, but I'm going to just let it go, and we'll go for the second battle here. This should be another very easy auto-resolve. Wow, we lost our entire dire stack. How strange. I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, this is unacceptable levels of loss. I'm just really trying to avoid fighting too many of the battles myself. Not because I can't, just because it takes up a lot of time. Right, first heal, and then we'll go for the second heal, and then we'll go for the fat regen drop right there. So most of these units should heal up. These guys will get hit by the second wave of healing. Now, we need to be very careful of the Exposing Light ability. That's a 6 range ability that deals 25 damage in an AoE. Right, let's start casting some of these Vine Prisons. I'll cast 1 Vine Prison here in the center, and then I will over-channel with my hero. I'll cast another Vine Prison over here on the right side to keep these guys distracted. Let's bring the Sunderers up and begin throwing the spears. That's what we like to see. Right, let's drop the Wand of Icy Chill, or whatever it's called. Wand of Frost, I think it is. Yeah, dropped a Hindering Blizzard on them. Now, I'm expecting some pretty good counterattacks here, but I might lose a few units. But I shouldn't lose everything. Perfect. So far, we haven't lost anything, and they used all of their big AoE drops. So I'm going to just quickly drop a Healing Roots on this guy to bring him back up to a slightly better health pool. Now, when it comes to mages, I'm super happy to get up in their face. Because they cannot defend themselves in melee. So I've got a Magic Missile wand. I'll Magic Missile him. Did that do it? Not quite. We'll do a little blap, blap. Perfect. You go ahead and take out this guy. I hope you just take out one of those models. Didn't quite get enough damage. That's unlucky. You head over this way. Blast him. Oh, we need to kill one of the models to bring down his DPS. Blap. And come on, get him. Give him the big Sunder. Oh, that's a fat Sunder right there. Give me another one of those fat sunders. Boom. Big regen wave just flowed through my army there. Massive amounts of health regenerated. Stacking regen, really quite useful if you can keep your units alive. But yeah, there's basically nothing they can do now. I haven't lost any units. We are good to go. Boom. Kill him. Get up there and kill him. Nice. Go ahead and chase down this wizard so he can't leave. Get into the bush. Shoot him. You're a little hurt. You don't need to get up there. And I'll drop a vine prison over here just to prevent them from escaping and being able to attack, because they'll be technically within the zone of control of these living vines. These are very simple units. All they do is entangle. They have a 30% chance of immobilizing their target, which means they can't move. They defense mode, and they are berserk, so they don't get to choose who they attack. Very fun, very cool unit that you can summon 5 of. Honestly, it should be 3. 5 is too many. It's too good. The fact that I can basically make like 3 to 5 enemy units per turn useless with a single spell is it's just too good. And not in the like, oh man, this combo is overpowered, but like the level of investment that I put into this strategy is kind of BS for my enemy. All right, we webbed them. They actually got frozen with that web. It's gross. You get up here, start slinging your bolts. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and auto-combat the rest of this battle, but I think we managed to successfully prove our point that we are the gods of auto-resolve. Now, the real thing would be to play this with a handicap, right? Where my units deal 30% less damage and take 30% more damage. Now, that would be how we really separate the good from the mediocre. So the city of Magnaford is not at war with me, but I will be declaring war on it. You go ahead and just get yourself killed, because that's what I wanted from you. Rather than pay for your upkeep, I would rather just get rid of you. I'd rather just be rid of you, but I didn't have a button to just delete you off the map, so... Now, the city of Tuscan can start annexing provinces. Let's start grabbing those nice quarries for you. And it's probably a good idea if I started producing more units. And guess what I'm going to produce? That's right, an entire stack of Sunderers. It's the only unit that I need. Jesus, I killed so many heroes that I'm getting 22 mana per turn from all their dead bodies. Oh, let me tell you, you're going to regret building that outpost, buddy. You're going to regret building that outpost. You were next on my list, but now you're going to the top of that list. I was going to take my time to kill this other guy first, but now I'm going to rush it. I'm in a hurry to get to you. Right, let's clear out this barbarian infestation. Pretty easy clear out. We get a bunch of resources. We get the Mace of Smiting, a Floral Stinger, Cloud the Bottle, Ring of the Vicious Killer. I'll take that reward. Let's refill these snacks. Quite happy to clear those out. So we can set up for the siege on Solemnia. Centerpike produced a granary, giving it extra food. What else do we want to build in here? I suppose stability wouldn't be bad, so we could go for the tavern. Extra production for the stonemason. And I suppose it would be good if the city actually had any defense at all in case an enemy summons like a unit here and tries to siege it down. So we'll get all that stuff, keep building this city up. And maybe it's time we started thinking about Houndmaster spam. The big advantage of Houndmasters is their incredible auto-resolve power, because they technically count as 2 units. They have a Warhound that... How do I show you the Warhound? Anyway, it's just a hound that runs up and marks enemies. I think we can get away with Sunderer spam for another little while. So we'll keep doing that. I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? If it's working, why change? Let's do a little bit of pillaging for health before we attack the city proper. Let's get the 3rd farm of Stag Spear. And we will get the stonemason and the market, and then we'll go for the communal town hall. And it's probably a good time that I started unlocking the teleporters, and I'll probably build those everywhere. Although then again, I am tempted to take the tome of teleportation. I could alternatively wait until tier 4 tomes and get the tome of demonic gate and build demon gates, which count as teleporters. Now, looking through the list here, there's actually a few tomes that really appeal to me. I don't love the Tome of Pandemonium. While it is pretty cool to be able to inflict negative status effects on people and then benefit from them, my army doesn't really inflict that many status effects. I'd probably be better off going with the Tome of Devastation. They're specializing in anti-siege warfare, or siege warfare rather. So we have things like the Devastator Spheres, which are essentially rolling bombs that you can roll up to enemy walls and detonate, a la Lord of the Rings, Helm of the Deep style. We also have Focus of Devastation, which turns your support and battle mage units into siege weapons that can destroy fortified obstacles. Unleash the Warhounds, that lets us to basically send a bunch of Warhounds at the enemy. We also get access to the Warbreed, which is a massive tier 4 biologically modified version of our species with a huge heavy strike and a power cleave. So it's a really, really powerful melee unit. And we'd also get flame burst weapons, which would give us a 20% crit chance on every single skirmisher would basically, when they kill a unit, that unit would detonate into flames. So I think I might go for the Tome of Devastation here. I'm tempted by the Tome of Summoning. Sorry, not the Tome of Summoning, the Chrono Gate. But I might just build basic teleporters and instead go for the Tome of Devastation. I think that's what we're going to do. Which of these do I want the most? I mean, Flame Burst Weapons just gives me so much auto-resolve power. 20% crit chance, 20 fire damage. Oh. Tuskeim can annex another province. Go ahead and get that quarry in there, my good sir. Soon I'll probably talk less about every single battle I participate in, and I'll probably also not give as much running commentary on how I'm developing my cities, because it's just not going to be as important. I do need to take care of this guy because he's burning down one of my conduits, which is a rather annoying thing for him to do. So I'll go send my armies to deal with that. I got 3 stacks up here. Let's go ahead and auto combat our way through this. This should be a fairly easy battle. Yeah, we basically lose a single unit, which I'm totally okay with. Now back down into the tunnels, lads. God, I don't know how I have so much income because all I'm doing is building units. I'm tempted to build a Smith's Guild in Slam Pit. This would give me 5 draft and 5 food per forester, and then I could slowly convert this to be like basically a forestry city. Which is what I'm going to do. This will be a unit recruitment city like no other. And we have pillaged another city. We've got 3,600 gold in the bank. We'll go ahead and rebuild a city because we have the capacity to do so. And we'll keep on marching on our conquest. We have a throne city over here that we'll eventually need to take out. We have a throne city over here that we'll eventually need to take out. And a throne city over here that we'll eventually need to take out. I love this. I love this pillage and rebuild playstyle. It's a very fun way to play. Now, we will eventually run out of Imperium income. Eventually, we simply cannot afford to pillage and rebuild cities at the rate that we're currently doing it. So let's unlock teleporters at long last. And I think that's going to be the next thing that I build in my capital city. I think I am happy to drop a farm to get a teleporter. And in fact, I'm going to do that in all of my cities, is just get the teleporters underway so that I can have all of these cities interconnected in the way that they should be. Well, with the exception of these newly created cities, I might wait a little bit of time before I do that. Right, let's put Magnaford under siege. It'll be a 3-turn siege. I'm going to add the Headlong Assault siege project to bring that down to a 2-turn siege. May as well harass the defenders and sow confusion. Let's position the troops in support of the siege. This is probably going to be one of the cities that I don't rebuild. I'll just let this be city ruins down here. City ruins never go away, which is something I find slightly annoying. So Horka Crake is one of my new heroes, and I think I'm going to go ahead and reset her abilities to something a little bit more reasonable. So I'll reset these skills. And I want her to be a T1 unit leader. So I'll take Battle Seeker Training for Tier 1 unit damage. I will take Restore to be able to heal those units. Defensive Training, Strength Training, and Endurance Training. And I'll confirm that. Then I'll take Precision Training to give extra crit chance to my army. Now I could take Holy Retribution, which I think is a reasonable thing to take on a unit that's going to be acting as the melee unit of its army. I'm going to give her the Ring of the Vicious Killer, Cloud in a Bottle, the Horn of Plenty, which will allow her to heal our army a little bit quicker. We have another spell point here. I'm going to take Spur to Action that she can use to make a unit act twice. And now she should be able to be used by me to claim some of these bronze landmarks, these bronze ancient wonders. She should be able to clear them for me with relative ease. Ooh, we got a little impossible battle here, do we? But I guess we can do some damage in this impossible battle. Remember, I can lose a stack of these. I build a stack of these like every turn. That's how quickly I produce these units. So I can lose these no problem. It doesn't even affect me. Okay, I don't want to talk about it. Listen, I got lazy and I didn't bother fighting correctly and I got my units killed. Listen. Also, don't forget, we are starting to reach the phase of the game where T1 spam is becoming less effective. Enemies are starting to build AoE, which can easily clear out a stack of T1. Which is why you just have more stacks behind that stack. Yeah, Magnaford is a truly tiny city. This will be turned into just a ruin that will never be rebuilt. We will be taking Spoils of Destruction to get that 20 gold every time we raise a city. Remember, 20 gold can sustain 5 of these Sunderers. So every time we raise a city, we can sustain 5 more of these Sunderers, not including the mana income. Another way to think of this is like a single Berserker. It can like sustain 2 Berserkers. So and that is just to sustain them, right? Never mind the actual money you get from raising the city itself. Let's go ahead and siege down the city. We will be adding a Headlong Assault, with a Soak Infusion and a Sabotage the Support. Perfect. Headlong Assault means we attack really heavily, but we get +5 siege points per turn. The Soak Infusion will add Misfortune to all enemy units at the start of the battle, giving them a 10% chance to fail their critical strikes, or critically fail rather. And then Sabotage Support will remove the Caltrops defending the walls, which, you know, they inflict bleed. It just opens up the battlefield a little bit more for us. Welcome to the city of Gratheim, where we'll be placing down some very fun things like quarries to let the city build itself up a little quicker. Ooh, they attacked me. I'm actually quite happy about this because that lets me fight their units outside of the city, and we should win this. Okay, yeah, these Awakeners are pretty scary in auto-resolve. Now, I should be able to play around their abilities, especially with Vine Prison. So one thing I need to be very careful about in this battle is making sure that there are never more than like 2 units within a single AoE of each other, because the storm of exposing light that they can drop on your head is extremely damaging. A pair of these could wipe out an entire unit stack of what you call them. All right, let's bring the Sunderers over as far to the east as possible. We'll drop our first heal right there. Boom. We'll save our second heal. Remember to maintain good spacing. All right, we're going to immediately start dropping Vine Prisons on these guys. Now with my hero, I want to get a big regen going. So I'm going to move this support unit over here. This is going to be the tile that I cast it on. So let's move you, and you to there. Drop the strengthened stack. Boom. Then I want my hero to also drop the rejuvenation to give these guys all health. Just refill those health bars. Perfect. And now I want to start baiting the enemy in. I know it looks and sounds crazy to space my units like this, but it's absolutely necessary for me to weather the AoE damage of my enemy army. Especially because look at that. This AoE ability just hit 2 of my units and took them down to like 2/3 of their health. So I absolutely need to be ready for that. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So if I stacked up, like look at that, 2 of them almost killed. It's a very, very scary ability that we're up against. All right, let's Vine Prison again over here to keep these guys in check while we deal with the melee. Now we could slip behind this guy and then melee strike him in the flank, which will allow us to trade a T1 unit up. I mean, it's a T1 for a T1, but this is a trade up for me because I can produce these units so easily and so cheaply. They cannot do the same. And I'll do a second Vine Prison over here just to kind of cause a bit of chaos in the battle. I've got to deal with this enemy hero as well, so I'll try to slow him and distract him and do all the things that we normally do. Now, he should be fairly easy to bring down once we get the real damage on him. So I just need one more bit of damage. I'm going to bring that Fury forward and see if we can finish him. Please, please, please. Perfect. Okay, enemy hero dealt with. Enemy spearman dealt with. And I think we will have successfully dealt with this entire battle in a moment. Here comes the blasts. Oof. Yeah, look how much damage they do, dude. It's scary how much they can do with those. Anyone that's really hurt, I'll try to pull them out of the battle to keep them alive. There's no reason not to try and let them live. Maybe we can kill this spearman. 1, 2. It'd be really nice if we could get melee skirmishers up on top of these awakeners. It would force them to take moves that they don't want to get out of our melee reach. So I need to get rid of this guy right here. Let me do a Fury of the Horde to buff all my units. Maybe we can get the damage we need on him. If I magic missile him in the back. I could also use Restoration to revive some of my units from the dead, which I think I'll do. So with him dead, my Sunderer over here should be able to escape the battle now. He might get chased down, but it's unlikely. I reckon that's the best we can do. I think we've got it under control now. Right, you should be able to escape. You should be able to escape as well. I've got quite a few units that are escaping the battle, but that just means that I'm still winning. And I'm getting units to survive that shouldn't technically survive. Let's make sure we're getting units up into melee with these guys to force them to retreat. Boom, boom. You should die. Get up there into melee. Make sure you're in melee. Kill him. Distracting strike. Ooh, a failure. So these guys should be routing, which is perfect. Awesome. Brilliant. Victory has been achieved. Very happy about that. We lost nothing actually because I revived the unit that died. That's incredible. 200 gold and a triple army stack wiped. Oh, can I auto combat this? Please let me auto combat this. God damn it, these awakeners. They have such auto resolve power, man. Now that's going to be probably my next build, is to take these awakeners, because if they auto resolve like this, you should be able to spam this unit and just auto resolve your way to victory. Oh, they're going in, man. Okay, we need a web. The vines. I didn't expect them to go all the way in so quickly. We need mass vines to distract them and prevent them. Everybody get into the nice 2x2 AoE. We drop the fat regeneration to give everyone healing. Boom. Oh, he knows I'm going to regen. That's why he's coming. Well, I mean, I'll just get up in his face. And if I'm in his face, he can't use his abilities. Ipso facto, D's nuts. Now, I'll probably take a few losses here, but it'll be okay. I'm going to let these guys sit at the back to regen. They'll heal up a little bit from the overlapping regen. Oh yeah, get destroyed by my vines, you losers. You fools. Why would you all stack up like this? So I can drop a fat web on your heads? You dummies. Oh my god. They all got slowed or frozen or whatever, and then I can just vine them again. Vinyl destination, baby. Bring in the skirmishers. Start bleeding them dry. Righty, let's do a Fury of the Horde. Boom. The battle is over. We have managed to win. Solemnia will fall in 3 turns. And they want me to feed my evil with the Root of Chaos. I can lose 2 population in my capital city and my leader levels up. I can get a bunch of levels and block recruiting in my capital for 4 turns. I can eat Slam a Berserker Herder to gain a level up. I'll take the bunch of level ups, hell yeah. Block draft. I can just... Why do I keep mixing up words backwards? I keep doing Drock Blaft, Block Draft, Porist, Frovence, you know, all this sort of stuff. Maybe I got neurological issues, dude. Maybe I got to talk to a doctor. Who knows? But we won't be able to draft in our capital for 4 turns, which isn't that big of a deal. So I think this purple lad is gearing up to go to war with me. He's got a whole bunch of units over here by what looks to be a teleporting outpost. Now, the thing I have to worry about is he does have spelljammers inside his provinces. So we're going to have to figure out a way to block those, and we're going to have to fight without magic for a few battles. I think I can win my fights without magic. I have enough units. Slamma Berserker Herder has leveled up. We can take his tier 5 ability. Mass Rejuvenation. Restoration would allow me to restore a unit. That's actually quite good. I think Mass Rejuvenation with Berserkers is really handy. Being able to heal them is quite good. I'm going to take Endurance Training for the extra 15 hit points and Status Resistance as well. Now, he actually leveled up twice from that event. So we can take Strength Training for the extra 10% damage too. And now this Berserker stack, I think, is purely ready for combat. Ashenai the Lawbringer rather. I'll level her up a bit. Her levels don't really matter anymore. She kind of already has the abilities that I want her to have. I will go ahead and enchant my units with Primal Strike. That'll just give my non-barbarian units a little bit of extra blight damage on their first attack. Right, let's go ahead and take out Magnaford now. This should be a fairly straightforward siege battle. Shouldn't lose much, just a couple of those skirmishers. That's fine. Remember, they are super cheap, so we don't care if we lose them. And we will go ahead and raise this city for 1,000 gold. And also 20 gold per turn for the rest of the game. Very valuable stuff. We will not be rebuilding this city, so I won't be hanging around. Let's go ahead and take out this Slitherer Den Bronze Ancient Wonder for the extra 5 Imperium per turn we'll get when we annex it. We can feed a pop to this to win it without a fight. I will go ahead and do that because pop to me right now is nothing. I'll get 400 mana and I will get a whole bunch of Imperium. Brilliant. Imperium, I'll be able to be used to attract a population and then annex that and get that 5 Imperium per turn. Finally getting around to clearing out some of these provinces of their problematic peons. The Root of all Chaos can annex another province. We'll go ahead and get a lumber mill right there. I want to surround this forest of stakes in foresters just to maximize that draft as much as possible. One thing I really would like is this Druidic Care ability here, getting 5 mana per resource node in my domain. That's a huge mana buff in the mid to late game. I'll be able to summon so many Balrogs. Ooh, Unkala Dredger had a ton of equipment here, so I'm going to go ahead and sell his remains. Ariel Light Painter also had a ton of equipment, so I'll sell their remains. Kind of looking around to see, oh my god, this guy had so much stuff too. Where do these guys get all this equipment? God, these are just so sellable. There's so much. I just got actually a redonkulous amount of equipment there. Do you know what I love? I love the sound of rain on my roof. Just something real chill about it. I'm going to start casting Flame Burst weapons, but I'm a little bit concerned that the sheer number of units I have is going to make this really expensive. But in the near future, I am going to transition away from endless stacks of tier 1 units. Eventually there is a point in the game where you reach where it can be worth it to start like tiering up so that you have more efficient stacks. It's when you start getting a lot of enchantments. These units get really expensive mana cost wise. Right now they only have a couple of improvements, so they're not too expensive, but it will get really rough to maintain this in the near future. All right, brilliant. We have teleporters on the front line, so we can start bringing stacks forward. Basically, teleporters allow you to move a unit from here to any other teleporter. So if I select this guy and I hover over him, you can see he can actually be instantly teleported over to here or over to here. So teleporters are a way to basically make the map smaller. So the reinforcement range is a lot smaller. It's a super late game big game changer improvement. Now, I'm going to be going to war with the purple guy, and when I was zooming out here, I just happened to spot just the tiniest little tendril of purple down here. So I'm actually going to embark my people into this underground river, but first I have to actually unlock shipbuilding, which I never did this game because I spent all of my Imperium unlocking this Chaos branch. But yeah, if I can get down into the water, we could do a really nice sneak attack on his territory here, depending on what he's got down here. He does have a root of order in the underground, although I think that's actually from this guy here. The Dafal Dia, the Frogman. The Crusading Croakers, as they're called. Right. Entwined Protectors would be probably a good transition unit. There'd be a tier 3 melee unit with shield ability and the ability to heal. So a really, really good tier 3 frontliner. And tier 3 frontliners are quite good, especially if you can combine them with a tier 3 backliner like the Zephyr Archer. So those two units will work really well in tandem, and I'll slowly be able to fill out my army with those instead of spamming Sunderers. Tier 3 is like late game. Tier 4 and tier 5, those are like your super units. So you generally don't want to spam them. Now, Grotheim can annex another province. We've got 3 quarries going on down here. I think it'd be good to get some farms, make sure we're growing the city as well. Now here's a very interesting unit, the Milena Fearmonger. She's an astral enchanter. She could be the leader of a magic origin army, giving them plus 10 hit points and plus 1 resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and recruit her to my army. Right now she's kind of a mage, she kind of has bad abilities. We'll eventually swap her around. But I could, for example, summon her a stack of gremlins to command, because gremlins, I believe, are magic origin. Let's have a look at what kind of equipment we have so that we can turn her into something useful. She could be a ranged hero with a skirmisher stack. Ooh, she could be a Punisher halberd wielding super unit. I like that idea. So let's go ahead and reset her skills. Restoration is a great ability. It allows me to recover a unit if it dies. And Rallying Blessing is great for morale. Being able to summon undead, however, that is such a powerful ability. The ability to add 3 like chaff units that just soak up enemy damage is amazing. Now, I'm going to give you Primal Mark and Poison Weapons. Then I will give you Keen Edge and Sentinel. You'll also get Flame Burst Weapons, Martial Expertise, Killing Momentum, and you've got 3 skills left. And I think the thing to take is Defense. If we can get you to Defense 3, that's plus 4 armor, bringing you up to a 70% resistance. If you've got a whole stack of gremlins sitting behind you, and then we start working on these support abilities, that'll be a fantastic army. Let's explore a Fortress of Woe. We can buy the stock. Oh, for 700 gold, we could clear it without a fight. Let's go for the Chaos check. 90% chance we succeed. This will be, wow, that is like XCOM levels of failure. Feels bad, man. So we lose a Chaos affinity, and they are encouraged. Let's auto-combat that. We should be able to clear it. We do have Berserkers. Let's have a look. We could intimidate Solemnia. I don't really care about that. Draft is blocked. Let's just intimidate them. Gain a population, sure. And that'll allow us to actually claim... Can I claim an uninhabitable province? Okay, we'll claim the Fortress of Woe. Now, Centerpike has actually reached its potential unless we can grab this Altar of Ancients inside of it. Which means this could be a candidate to release as a vassal so that we could build a future city. Right, let's go ahead and clear Solemnia. Lost a single Sunderer for that, got 120 gold. And we should be able to begin to raise this city. Excellent. That'll be another 1,000 gold in our pockets and potentially another city for us to annex. So if I were to cast Flame Burst Weapon, it would cost me over 130 gold and 198 mana per turn. So I need to increase the size of my economy before I can even cast that spell. But I tell you what, I'm going to call that the end of this episode. We have full control of the bottom left of the map. We're beginning to attack the right side of the map. We've also got some major control of the underground. I would say we've got a foothold here, and we're going to start ripping apart all these buildings and all these cities. Everything is looking up in the order of chaos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.